Tom Aspinall came out. He said he would like Jon Jones stripped, and he would like to be the real champion right now. Now, I like that for a number of reasons. If we're going to build a fight between Tom and Jon, I mean, let's get this party started. But that's not what this was. Tom was just speaking calmly. But if you hear me say the words, you might get the wrong impression. I gave the quote accurately, but to hear Tom say it was a very calm thing. And this isn't exactly new. If you guys watched the Fury versus Ngannou match, there was talk by either Usyk or Fury. It's one of those things. Right after that match, so right in the ring, that if they don't do the fight by December 23rd, they need to be stripped. I just can't remember who said it. Did Usyk say that Fury needs to be stripped? I thought it was Fury said it about Usyk. Moreover, before you correct me on that quote or pain-numbingly go back and try to watch it, I don't need the answer. The point I'm getting at is those semantics matter. They matter to the guys in question. Tom is in a colossally hard spot. Now, it's one that he wanted. It's one that he volunteered for. And he did see the ride before he bought the ticket. Tom did know the deed. Nothing has been sprung on him now, is what I'm saying. He knew full well if he wins as the top active heavyweight versus the next top active heavyweight, if he wins, he will not be the undisputed champion. He will be the interim champion. He knew that. So he won, and he wakes up today and he's in this spot. And the interim title is just what it's called. Like, there's nothing we can do about that, no matter how much we don't like the semantics. And I'm with Tom. Tom would like the semantics changed and saying that Jon should be stripped and he should be elevated. Interim comes with a definition. And the definition is, in the meanwhile, in the interim, until, that's what it means. He's the champion until. But we're finding out that that definition isn't going to hold up, but we're still calling him the interim. The definition doesn't hold up if the until is Jon returning. If Jon returns and doesn't fight Tom, then the definition of interim goes away. Now, I don't make up these rules. Interim isn't a very fun word to say. Like BMF, or to even say the baddest mother, to do that, these are great acronyms. Interim is not. You're forced to say interim. Nobody wanted to say interim. You're forced to say, because it just happens to be the word. Right? It just happens to be the word. Well, it happens to be the word that comes with a definition. So guys, try to stay with me on this. It's in the meantime. It's while this guy is out, I am champion. But the way we resolve that is when that guy comes back, we then fight. And do you want to know why it has to be that way? These aren't Chael's rules. It has to be that way. Why, guys? Think. Because when Jon returns, if they don't do it that way, Tom's no longer champion. And most of you believe he's still the interim champion. You're wrong. You were wrong. The reason the interim champion fights the undisputed champion is because it means for the in-between, for the meanwhile. So if the undisputed champion comes back, it doesn't matter who he fights. This guy is no longer champion. You guys believe, because you've been told by the media in our sport, that if Jon and Stipe fight, Tom will wait, and whoever wins, then Tom will fight, and you'll finally have your interim champion versus your undisputed champion. That's not true. When Jon returns, Tom is no longer champion. Or we change the word. That we could do too. But interim does not apply in this situation. Doesn't apply. Tom is the active heavyweight champion of the world. That's what he is. Tom is the active heavyweight mixed martial arts champion. But we don't have a title for that. We don't have a category for that. That's not what the poster says. It's not what the program says. It's not what the bout agreement said. It says interim. So I'm just sharing with you just to try to clear a few things up. If you're wondering why this matters to Tom, imagine you did something you didn't get the recognition. Imagine there was a guy out there that they said could beat you. Now you showed up. You did the training camps and you did the weigh-ins and you made the walk. You did everything and he did none of those things. And he got the accolades and you did not. Imagine that from your standpoint. Sometimes it's hard to do, and you go, well, it's good enough. I mean, come on, you're the champion of the world, and we all saw it, and you're rich, and you're famous, and this is a cool life. What are you arguing over these semantics for? Well, there's some massive consequences. Starting with what I just told you. You have been told by the media, and you falsely believe that if Jon returns not against Tom, that Tom stays interim champion. That's not right. You've also falsely been told that Tom doesn't get to fight again until Jon fights again. Tom absolutely could fight again. He could defend the interim belt for the first time ever. The interim just means the in-between. We don't know if Tom is going to be champion for 3 months, for 4 months. We don't know if Jon's going to come back next week. Maybe he's got the miraculous injury that Prohaska had, where he can be right back. We don't actually know, but Tom gets to be champion until Jon comes back. He is not champion when Jon comes back. It's a misunderstanding by you. So, imagine being champion. You don't get recognized for what you are, then all of a sudden you don't lose, and you're no longer champion. Could you imagine that? Colby Covington was the interim champion. One day he woke up and he was not. There'd never been an explanation given for that. Colby Covington beat the BMF champion, the sitting and reigning and active BMF champion, but Colby Covington did not become the BMF champion. No explanation for that either. Sometimes, right, things happen in the sport, but you can't blame Tom for wanting to be proactive, for Tom seeing it, for Tom realizing you're all wrong, and you're all wrong because the media told you wrong. Jon does not return and fight, and Tom stays champion. That is not true. The moment that fight begins with Jon Jones, Tom is no longer anything. There's no coronation. There's no taking it away. They didn't have a coronation or a taking away of Colby Covington. One day he woke up and he was no longer the champion. But I'm just sharing with you, the championship comes with a definition. I don't make these things up. Like, you're not in a debate with me. Interim means until. And the until in this case, Jon comes back. So there's a reason we always put them together, because the moment that match starts with Jon, the moment the match starts with Jon Jones, Tom is no longer anything. So if Tom isn't one half of that match, he's sitting in the front row. He wakes up interim champion. He's willing to compete. They won't give him a shot to compete. The bell dings and Tom is no longer champion. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? Pretty tough spot. Now, we can solve this problem real fast, but I'm going to need that spot. So y'all get it worked out with Stipe. It's one of those things. Or, hey, Stipe, look, you and I get it worked out before Jon comes back. Because, see, Tom's problem isn't Jon. Tom's problem is the return of Jon. It's a part within the definition that many people don't get. And then many people get angry when you try to explain the rule to them. Hey guys, Francis Ngannou is still the UFC heavyweight champion. No, he actually left the UFC. When that contract expired, that came with it. It's unique. Being in the organization, the definition of being in the organization is to have an active contract. So you're wrong. He's not, and then people want to get worked up. Not you versus me. I don't make the rules. You have been misled by the media as to what interim means. You're wondering why Tom's trying to get in front of this thing. He is the active champion. But if Jon returns, the moment that bell rings, per the rules, Tom is no longer the champion. Think about that. And then you tell me that Tom shouldn't be pursuing having an unactive guy be the one that has to wait, and having the active guy recognized for what he is.